Excuse me, everyone. Hi, everyone. Kidus, hi. Hi, Annabelle. Hi, Hassan. Hi, Serena. Hi, Gabby. Hi, Miral. Thank you for that. Thank you so much to Dijon Baum for the amazing music they've been playing for us. Thank you. My name is Udbhav Agarwal. I'm one of the co-presidents of the Vassar Haiti project this year. And I'd like to welcome you all to our 6th annual Art and Soul Gala. As so many of you know, Art and Soul is a time when we get the medical professionals from Mid-Hudson Valley who've been supporting the Vassar Haiti project to come and celebrate and actually generate enough funding for our clinic in Farewell to run for another year. This past year, our clinic in Farewell supported 41 villages and saw more than 3,000 patients. I would like to introduce now to a very important member of the Vassar Haiti project, Dr. David Cho. Dr. David Cho is now chair of a medical advisory board and specializes in internal medicine with his new practice with Premier Medical Group in Poughkeepsie. In addition to setting the direction for the clinic with our partners in Haiti, Dr. Cho helps to organize medications and supply shipments sent to the clinic and reviews patient demographics and disease analysis. It's my privilege to introduce Dr. David Cho.
Good evening. How's everyone doing tonight? Thanks. Just some basic housekeeping. There is a speaker in the middle, as well as a screen in the other room for those of you that can't all fit into this room to hear Dr. Farmer and the other speakers speak. So just to be aware of that. Again, welcome to the 6th Annual Art and Soul Gala. We really appreciate all of you being here and supporting this wonderful cause. My name is Dr. David Cho, and although it says chairman, I'm actually the interim chairman until they can find someone more suitable, I think, but after the National Search Committee is finished, maybe. But I want to really tell you what a pleasure it is to serve on the Medical Advisory Board and how working with the students of Vassar and the community leaders and the other physicians has really touched my life as well as the lives of those in Haiti. So, founded in 2001, the Vassar Haiti project with Lila and Andrew really has sort of been embedded in a theme, a principle that wherever we live, we can touch the lives of those around us. Through simple things, but sort of grounded by a core principle that we're striving to do something noble and with the notion of human dignity and sort of rights for all, we can accomplish many things. In this case, a small college in Poughkeepsie with community leaders and physicians can touch the lives of those over 1,500 miles away. It's pretty amazing. Thank you. And all of you tonight are a part of that. And it takes a really a staff of students and really a support staff, many of those who are not recognized, to make this happen. So I really want to recognize that. I'll keep my remarks brief because we have many speakers tonight, but I do want to just again welcome Dr. Paul Farmer tonight. As you know, Dr. Farmer, his many accomplishments, there he is, many accomplishments speak for themselves, but really want to tell you how much we've been inspired by your life and your accomplishments over the years, and how much your presence here has really sort of blown wind in our sails. So thank you. I'm also pleased that Dr. Geslen has joined us tonight. He's our medical director from Haiti. He just arrived yesterday, and he's our partner in Haiti. And I'm not sure, there's Dr. Geslen. How are you? And just want to recognize him briefly and how much we appreciate everything that he's done as a partner as well as an ambassador for their project in Haiti. So that having been said, please enjoy the food and the music. Please meet our members and student volunteers. And most importantly, please look at, purchase, and buy lots and lots of Haitian artwork, knowing that what you are doing tonight is so critically important and saving lives, literally. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Cho. Next up, we have Sarah Oliver. Sarah joined Vassar Haiti Project 8 years ago as a freshman. And over her time with us, she's been to Chermette on 3 trips with us. The clinic came about in her lifetime in the project. So she's seen it from the beginning till now. Sarah is currently is a medical student at Tulane University. And she'll be talking about her experience with the project so far. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. It's such an honor to be speaking here today, and it's such a privilege to be back at Vassar and be a part of Art and Soul. It's just this incredible event that has shaped so much of who I am as a person. As a freshman, I went to Haiti with the Vassar Haiti Project for the first time, and by chance, I was placed in the group that worked on the health initiative, which at that time was just getting started. We had broken ground on the clinic foundation, so all of the pictures that you see around of the clinic, none of that was there the first time I was in Haiti. It was just this gray brick building. So when I went to volunteer at our temporary clinic day, it took place in the Fearville Church and School building, which is across from our current clinic location. The more experienced volunteers worked as translators or worked with the doctor, but at that time, I was just a freshman. I had no idea what I was doing, and my role was to accompany people who were waiting to be seen. It was very overwhelming for me. There were so many people there, probably upwards of 100 patients. And what really struck me was how great the need was. They were all waiting there because there was no other place to go for medical care for miles. Chermette is at the top of this mountain, and you have to hike 2 hours to get to the bottom of it, which is where our clinic is. And the nearest hospital is like a 2-hour drive away. So just understanding the magnitude of how important this was for people to see a clinic or to be at a clinic for the first time. So they were waiting there. And it was hot, and it was loud, and it was really crowded. And I began to see this disconnect from my life as a freshman in college at Vassar, a great place to go to school, and how different it was from the lives of the people in Chermette. I spent that first trip taking notes and listening and just being present. I was struck by how much I still had to learn, and I didn't know it then, but that experience, that powerful experience at the clinic was such a turning point in my career and in my life. So when I came back to the US, I thought about how I wanted my experiences in Haiti and with VHP to impact my life. I knew that I wanted to go back to Haiti, and I knew that the next time that I went back, I wanted to have some sort of skills. I wanted to be able to do something. So that summer, I started to think more about what I wanted to do and discovered my newfound interest in medicine. And as a sophomore, I made the decision. My self-proclaimed humanities self was going to be pre-med. I naturally, though, still fell into the field of anthropology. I was an anthropology major at Vassar. And that's through those classes, that's where I discovered the work of Dr. Paul Farmer. And it's his work that confirmed for me that straddling the world of anthropology and medicine is really very, very possible. I began to see how healthcare and disease is a reflection of society, and how inequalities and institutions are written into the very ways that we treat our bodies and we treat others. And the most important part is that Dr. Farmer presented a way to change the world. When I read his books and I saw him put his words into action through his work, his humanitarian work around the world. And I was really inspired to think critically about what role I wanted to play in health and in society. Vassar Haiti Project is what gave me the opportunity to explore that role. This organization, like Dr. Farmer, puts words into action every single day. Vassar students, alongside community members, get to see their ideas become reality. VHP is a canvas for exploration. We take theory out of the classroom and we put it into practice in the mountains of Chermette. I want to close by sharing an excerpt from a journal entry that I wrote on my third and final trip to Haiti as a senior at Vassar. So now 3 years ago. The clinic today felt full circle. I ate dinner in the very spot that I thought about becoming a doctor exactly 3 years ago. I've seen this place transform from a temporary clinic with just the foundations of the building I'm currently staying in to a fully operating medical dispensary with a full-time nurse, a doctor 2 times per month, a stocked pharmacy, and patients who are starting to understand what it means to have access to healthcare. At our debrief, I cried because I became so emotional about this place. I can't wait for the clinic to have transformed into something even greater. I want to come back as a medical student with a completely different perspective and see where this clinic, this entity that has so shaped me as a person, is in its path to being the best source of primary care for the people of this region. I can feel the palpable possibility. There's so much possibility in this room tonight, and I'm so grateful for Dr. Farmer and for Vassar Haiti Project for setting that stage.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We also have with us the 11th president of Vassar College, President Elizabeth Bradley, who's famous on campus for her Sunday tea times and Sunday emails. However, she's also an expert on public health. She's worked closely with officials in the Ethiopian healthcare system to improve the healthcare system over there, and she's also a published author. Her vast experience in global public health will be very helpful in guiding Vassar Haiti Project in the future years, and we are so happy to have her here. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I will just take a minute because we really want to hear from Paul. But I have sort of 2 things to say. I was the first person at Yale to teach global public health, and I decided to use Paul, the book that Tracy Kidder wrote, Mountains Beyond Mountains. How many people have read it in the room? Everybody. So in 2006, I taught from that book. There were 250 people in the class. These people still write to me today to say that book and the story the book tells really changed the path. And we just saw it happen to Sarah too. It changes the path. And what Paul really has done, beyond what he's done in Haiti and Peru and Rwanda and Liberia, he has changed entire generation, a huge generation of young adults in our country that are able to work globally and work on health and medicine. And I don't know how you did that, Paul, but wow. And the only second thing I'd like to say is I think the world is just catching up with Paul. Now we're talking about inclusion. Now we're talking about working across difference and making sure that we really have engaged pluralism as we're doing at Vassar. Well, Paul has been doing that for 35 years. Without a label, without a name, the real thing. And I am so, so, so happy you came, Paul, today. It's fabulous. Welcome to Vassar.
You see, now you see why she's a university president and you're not. She knows how to say it. Thank you. I felt like choked up. Also when Sarah was speaking. And so that's the first thing I have to remember is my manners and to say thank you for having me. It was a lucky set of coincidences. I was stalking a Vassar professor in the legal sense as a scholar who's also here. I succeed in my quarry. Professor Ismail Rashid. I'd been working in Sierra Leone since June 2014, and had been reading some of his work. And then, Betsy, who was a friend of mine, when she became president, we saw each other even before, I think just before you came here. And so both of them asked me at the same time, and I already knew the Vassar Haiti Project folks, including Sarah, who was then not, she already knew she wanted to go to med school, but was still here. And so this is kind of like a homecoming for me, even though that may seem physically impossible. Just reflecting on a couple of points that Betsy just made about young people and teaching, and of course, and I was just speaking to a group of Vassar students about this. And the first question that was asked by one of the students was, "So, what do you like about teaching?" And I realized, and this is how I met Betsy as well, that I've actually never been outside of a teaching hospital. Even when it's a hospital in ruins after an earthquake, it's a teaching hospital, or should be. If it's a clinic, it should be a teaching clinic. And, in many ways, the things that changed my life and moved me in a different direction were a lot like what Sarah described. That is, reading, and as an undergraduate in college, and thinking, well, that's the kind of thing I want to do. And of course, this is something I try to say more and more. When I was a senior at Duke, I applied for a Fulbright in Francophone West Africa, a complete colonial fiction. There's no such thing as Francophone West Africa. And either the Fulbright people knew that, or maybe they just noticed that I wasn't qualified for the thing. I didn't even get an interview. So Haiti was plan B, right? And what a great thing that was for me. And I just want to say that Haiti has been my biggest teacher. In fact, some of my trainees, mentees, who are also my mentors or future mentors, are here today. One of them, Dr. Jennifer Severe, as they say in America, Dr. Severe, and Dr. Ernst Barthelemy, two people I've known since early in their medical training, have taught me a lot, along with really hundreds of nurses and community health workers and physicians in Haiti. And it was the same story with patients and family members. You just learn from so many people if you embrace a kind of pluralism and, you could call it democratically minded spirit or cultural humility. I'm not a big believer as a physician anthropologist in cultural competence. I suppose there are people who have it, right? But I've been working in Haiti 35 years, and I don't need to call myself culturally competent. I'd really rather be, have cultural humility, and that's an openness that I think I learned from being a student and being a teacher, but also working in Haiti. And there's also another Haitian colleague of yours who I just met for the first time today, Dr. Gisley, who came all the way from Haiti, from Chéomet. So he. Moi voulais dire merci en pile de ce que vous faites pour ça. And anyway, I know I get a chance to speak later on, but I would encourage all of you to support Heart and Soul and also the Vassar Haiti Project, and I can be specific as to why. In a time when essentialism of one sort or another rules, and where you can have an entire nation singled out as a shithole, or a continent. Again, this is not a political commentary. It's just, there's something wrong with that. And what is the antidote to that? Well, that's, again, an openness and a deep appreciation for Haitian history and culture. This university, this college, seems like a university to me. It's an awful lot of students, awful lot of departments, was founded in 1861. In 1861, you just think about the United States, and then you think the oldest republic in the hemisphere, marred by two great crimes, a country with great promise, but it just could not be kept, a promise that could not be kept while slavery endured. Right? It's not possible to have a democracy in a slave-owning country. So that was 1776 to 1861, right? There was only one other, there could only be one other second oldest republic in the hemisphere, and that was Haiti. And it was born of a slave revolt that began in 1791. So that our debt to Haiti is profound. You know, the French Revolution made these grand promises, but didn't keep them and couldn't keep them. In fact, Napoleon tried to reestablish slavery in Haiti, as did the British, and the Americans, the young American Republic, sided with the British and the French too, for that matter. So this is a chance tonight to think about our hearts and souls, right? And to celebrate Haiti, but also to celebrate one of its most magnificent products, if you will, not to sound too materialist, but that's art, music. And everyone who's been from Vassar or anywhere around this area to Haiti knows about the vibrant nature. I'm looking at a friend of mine who's been there with me on a number of occasions, Ellen Chesler, a Vassar graduate. Everybody who goes there sees it immediately. You pick it up, and the warmth and the pride as well. I will just say, and I know if there's still time, I'm allowed to take a couple of questions or make comments, but I'm very grateful to the Vassar Haiti Project and all of the fellow Haitiophiles. Does that sound right, Betsy? And I can say that it was the best gift of my life to not get an interview for that Fulbright. So thank you, Fulbright Committee. I hope they'll look more kindly on the Vassar applicants. I met a couple of them today. So thank you very much for having me, and I look forward to our conversation. Thank you. Sorry to swear. Who would kick things off? Palagim Pugon Manapidit.
Member Bash was the oldest Vassar graduate in the room, I'm sure. So, what is your biggest need from, particularly given the unfortunate political circumstances in the United States? What can the people in this room best do for you in Haiti? I mean, I know it's hard to rank what's needed most, but tell us.
Well, thank you very much. I mean, first of all, you know, there is, I notice the only thing I've led with is a request that anyone could grant. Be not just respectful of Haitian culture, I'll stick with Haiti for a second, but also, you know, join us in celebrating and learning about it and from it. You know, so that's anybody could do that. You don't have to have a Vassar degree or a penny in your pocket. But the biggest challenge is, I would say, a material one, because I described a cultural challenge, a social challenge, but these probably precede material challenges. But in order to do the kind of work that we do as partners in health, and that's the same in Géomètre, where Vassar Haiti Project works, you need staff, stuff, space, and systems, right? And the things we've seen together in Haiti, the catastrophe of not having a strong enough health system. I mean, I would say that one thing that 35 years in Haiti has taught me is to recognize progress as well. Like, Haiti has made enormous progress. You know, I'm looking at a couple of my friends who I've just called protégés, but the things that I saw in the 80s are not the kind of things we see now. There's been enormous progress on the health front as well. It has been delayed, as you know, by political strife and so-called natural disasters, but not mortally wounded, right? Not in Haiti. In fact, one of the things that struck me on going to Sierra Leone in 2014, which is why I began stalking Ismail Rashid, reading. He's a historian, by the way, in case I didn't say that. I mean, he writes mostly about the early 20th century, so I had legitimate intellectual grounds for stalking him. One of the things that struck me is, wow, this is a real clinical desert. It's a public health desert. This is the beginning of the Ebola epidemic. But you learn enough after a while to say, well, there's nothing that's going to stop Ebola now without massive investment of staff, stuff, space, and systems, right? Systems, meaning health, public health in a way, infection control, that would prevent the spread of Ebola. But how do you prevent the spread of Ebola, which is a caregiver's disease? It's not, I will get to talk about this tonight. So the biggest challenge for us, once we address some of the social challenges and cultural challenges, which again, I believe anybody who spends time in these places that were dismissed in a crude manner, that's already, you leap beyond the challenges. But after that, really very quickly comes the material challenges. That's why I'm here to kick off a lecture at a fundraiser in this, for VHP, because that clinic in Chalmette that Sarah Oliver described can't be run without staff, stuff, space, and systems. In fact, since you flew up here, who's covering the clinic? Ou même on va laguer clinique là derrière. Qui est-ce qui a couvert pour? But that's a plea to everybody. Think about material challenges and the redistribution from you to them that it takes. Is that too arcane? Give money. To Vassar too, because that's what spawned this group. Yes. Hi.
Hi. Sarah was talking about her experience with finding the harmony between anthropology and medicine.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could talk about your experience with that.
First of all, you're a senior from Kent High School, right? Thank you for coming all this way. And if this man who looks a little like you is involved at all in your transportation, thank you. Thank you. I just want to say again, I was not like you interested in these things in high school. I'd never heard of anthropology. I couldn't have defended my interest in being a physician with any kind of intellectual rigor. If someone said to me, and I have another friend here who's known me since back in that day, I couldn't have said, this is why I would like to be a physician. But that's okay. What I did discover was medical anthropology in a classroom, in college. So you're not even in college yet, and you've already discovered it. The harmony for me was, I was a biochemistry major and loved biochemistry, but I did what Betsy mentioned in her generous introduction was already apparent to me. I wanted to understand particularly racism as someone who'd grown up in Florida and had no awareness, and then went to Duke University, and I was very interested in what I'd seen as someone born at the end of 1959, so seen with my own eyes, but really did not have the vocabulary or assistance necessary to learn more about it. And you do get that in a university. And I'm sure I could have found it if I'd been more industrious in high school. And so that was what it was about, understanding social inequalities and understanding, too, that although I had grown up in very modest circumstances, that there was still an element of white privilege, even in a trailer park. And then, I wrote my thesis, my honors thesis, which wasn't very good, but on gender disparities and among immigrant populations in France. My friend who was there back, should I say, 1981, is here tonight. So the harmony was really about trying to solve trying to solve personally in my own mind, to think through thorny social problems that I knew were going to arise in clinical practice, and they did. And I didn't think I'd make a living out of it or be a university professor, but hey, it's too late. They tenured me. Please.
How does the political climate in Haiti impact healthcare?
Well, I mean, it's very profoundly. I mean, and the students I met with brought this up as well. If you're, in the middle of one of the students is working on an honors thesis in international relations on Syria, and I can tell you it's impossible to deliver primary care in settings of that level of violence, and then you're reduced to emergency services, trauma, and you have to have blood and at least MASH units, right? You have to have a blood bank and a mobile Army surgical hospital to do that. So, I mean, those are dramatic situations, but so is an earthquake that takes out the epicenter of medical training and medical care in a country because it hits the capital. I mean, you were there too. I mean, these are grim situations. So I think the impact of political violence and instability is not too dissimilar, in my experience, from the impact of a massive natural disaster, except that that it's intentional to, that they're not except but in addition, there is intention to harm or take something over. And actually, my colleague here that I've been stalking has written quite a bit about the war in his home country of Sierra Leone, which is very recent. And afterwards, there are really two kinds of problem. It's rebuilding from nothing. Another student I met is writing about the humanitarian. She's also interested in the relationship between humanitarian work and notions of race. But, humanitarianism that is too focused on emergency response, is not going to be focused on rebuilding systems, especially public systems for healthcare and education. That's a big problem. Another sequelae of war often, and also these major disasters, but it's also from us. It's from logic that needs to be challenged, humanitarian logic that needs to be challenged, which again, you don't win a popularity contest by pointing that out, in the middle or right after a crisis of that sort. And then finally, the other kind of violence that's left over is structural violence may precede or, follow, or does precede and follow conflict of that sort. So in addition to goodwill efforts to provide good medical services, it's prudent and I think morally sound, but also prudent to think hard about inclusion, back to Betsy's comment. So I've worked in Peru at the tail end of the Civil War, Guatemala at the tail end of the Civil War, Haiti through many upheavals, Rwanda after the genocide, and, the list it goes on. And the greatest success occurs if, as in Rwanda, there are attempts to bring in the excluded. And they should be formal attempts, and meaning they should be mandatory parts of attempts to rebuild after conflict, but also, they should occur during conflicts as they are winding down. That sounded a bit of a preach, but I'm an optimist. That could be just psychopathology required for my job, but we can't keep rediscovering these things again and again, which is another reason it's heartening to see Vassar students who are undergraduates pursuing studies in these matters, and high school students. Thank you. Yes, please.
You speak of countries that, for many of us, we don't have any context for. Speaking of Sierra Leone, speaking of Haiti, speaking of Ebola, and speaking of disease and health and all those other things, and that for me paints a picture of a single story of a country. It's a deficit of public health.
Yeah.
There are no services, there's need. But when I went to Haiti, for instance, earlier last year, I was grabbed by a totally different, so many other stories, which has made me realize that need is not how the people that I was conversing with, used to define themselves or used to reflect them. You talk about you know, the learnings that we can get from, that you have had from Haiti. Maybe you can speak more about it in this context.
Yeah.
How this country changes you.
Well, I mean, first of all, I assume that it changes you, as I said, and for the better, as I also said, right? Certainly, it has made I'm headed there tomorrow morning, and I go to the same village if it doesn't snow. Please make it not snow. Betsy, do you have those powers yet? I go to the same place, same village. You know, it was a squatter settlement then. A lot of the young people I know are the children or grandchildren of people I met in 1983. And I don't work there now. I live there. So I'm mostly in a hospital, which is, about 15 minutes away, which is a large tertiary hospital. I work in tertiary hospitals. The kind of clinical work I do is largely tertiary now, meaning inside hospitals with critically ill and injured folks who have multiple problems, right? And I wouldn't be living there as a chore, right? It's because there is a richness, and you learn a lot. I mentioned Haitian history and culture, which have been deeply. That's what structured my reading of West Africa and Rwanda, for that matter. I haven't formally studied it, but I certainly can tell the difference between, Haiti and more recently colonized places or decolonized places. Again, that's just not something that would have occurred to me had I not had that gift from Haiti. In addition, as I said, you see progress. If you working with the Haitian people, Partners in Health in Haiti is all Haitian. It's a Haitian organization. That's what I'm saying. It works with the public sector, as I said. It has over 5,000 employees. They're all Haitian. And we're headed next week to Liberia, and the director of Partners in Health Liberia is a Haitian, one of our, someone who's taught me a lot, also a student of mine, right? And he's been working with Partners in Health for 12 years, And again, I've learned so much from these young professionals like Jennifer, like Dr. Sever, because that's another gift, is this outward-looking part of Haiti. Haiti is an outward-looking place. And you're right, people do not regard themselves as, a less than the sum of their parts, And that said, you live in a Haitian village, and you pay attention to what people are saying, and they will remind you again and again and again of the cost of inequality. And this has been the one thing, I have a mediated experience of some of the places I work, meaning I don't speak the language, right? I think it's pretty easy to get a mediated experience of, let's say, a Russian prison or a village in rural Rwanda. But it's not the same as a direct, unmediated experience of becoming friends and neighbors with the people you're serving. And that's why I'm saying I know the topic of discussion is very often unfairness, inequality, injustice, and that's another good lesson, I think, for any of us, a positive lesson. And then there are the joys, of course, of, as I said, of Haitian culture. I think anybody can get this from reading about Haitian history as well, which I regard as a great gift. So if my experience wasn't positive, I wouldn't be going back to the same place for many years. And again, this idea that Haiti, Haiti's a black hole, or where all the aid money goes down the drain, it's a waste, it's a basket case, it's just absurd, right? All you have to do is look at the numbers. You invest in healthcare delivery, you have Haitian colleagues, you build Haitian human capital, everything gets better. This is just so this is like propaganda, the negative story about Haiti. There's a lot of it has a propagandistic nature, as it did in the 19th century, from outside Haiti. So I would just encourage all of you. I know it's not easy for the team in Chalmette to receive un pile blanc. Blanc is really the word for foreigner, not white person. So, but it's not easy for you guys and your team. But I would encourage all of you here. If you want to experience something special, visit Haiti. And if you want to experience something more special, visit Haiti again and again and again. I mean, you won't regret it, and you'll learn a lot. Well, so thank you all for having me here, and good luck to Heart and Soul. Buy some art, and I hope to see you all again here. Thank you very much. Hey there.
Thank you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Andrew.
I'm Andrew Mead. I'm co-founder of the Vassar Haiti Project. This is my much better half, Lila Mead, without whom there would no be Vassar Haiti Project. You've heard from Sarah, Dr. Farmer. It is now, first of all, thank you for being such an inspiration to all of us, to us personally, our students,
I
our
inspire
work.
even myself.
Indeed. It's a great honor for us and a privilege to be able to present you with this award. I'm going to read you what it says. The 2018 honoree, Dr. Paul Farmer, for extraordinary achievements in the field of global health and international social justice. And my much better half wanted to be the one to hand it to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Lila.
Very welcome.
How lovely. Thank you.
And we have one more thing. A young man from Chermette by the name of Benoit, who is a student first and is now a teacher of others, wanted to paint something for us to present to you on this occasion. And he has obviously you are such a huge inspiration to him that he painted a very large canvas. So good luck getting it back. Yes. So,
Beautiful.
yes.
Oh, my heavens.
Yes. 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 So what you're looking at actually is the walk up to Chermette. You can see the trail, all the people going to and from the markets, because there's a market somewhere every day in the mountains, and then there are waterfalls and streams, and the school in Chermette is right up here on the right.
That's beautiful. Please tell Benoit thank you. This is gorgeous. Thank you.
I will.
That's his story here.
Oh,
And
good.
Yeah.
we'll wrap that up too.
Yeah. Thanks so much. Thank you, everybody.
Good luck. We all see you very badly.
Thank you for your support. And now we have one more announcement for you before you leave. Gabby.
Hi, welcome. My name is Gabriella Mandeville. I'm class of 2019, and I'm this year's Health Initiative Director. I just have a couple of announcements. Firstly, of course, to thank Dr. Paul Farmer again for joining us this evening and for his monumental work in global health. I also wanted to let you know that we have a donation table in the back room, and a donation of $10 or more will enter you into a raffle to win a prize of a night stay at the Penn Club in New York City, dinner in New York, and a limo ride, among other prizes, of course. I also wanted to remind you that if you've paid for a ticket to attend Art and Soul tonight, you do get a $50 coupon to apply to the purchase of any painting. And also thank again Dijon Baum, our first jazz ensemble, for joining us tonight. And thank Treble in Paradise, who is our next performer group, who will be kicking off the second half of the event. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thanks for being here.